All right, so this is Gusha tutorial for the face. So you want to start, you want to make sure you use a heavy, kind of like a thicker night cream, or you can use a serum. I'm actually using the Biossance Squalene and Vitamin C Rose Oil. Um, I like this one a lot. I find it's nice. Tao Wellness or the Wellness Living Store also makes their vitamin C serum, which I really love too. I really try to kind of like switch back and forth between these two. If you go to dowstar.com, you can actually find that serum. It's a little thicker than this one, which is kind of why I do like that one. So I'm just going to take it and kind of put it on my face. You want to make sure with the oil that you kind of get into the drier areas of your skin. This is really important. On me, my forehead right at the hairline tends to be a little more dry. So I really like to take the serum and really kind of push it up into the hairline, and that's fine. I also tend to be a little drier, like in my nasal, my Alanasi regions. Um, so I will make sure that I get into those areas as well. You want to get into your neck and even into your chest. Okay, so first thing we're going to work on is washing on the neck. So when we take a look at the muscle, we have the SCM muscle, and you can clearly see mine right here. You want to take your tool, you want to use this little heart side, and you want to take your tool and you always want to go down. You want to go in a downward motion with the neck. It's really important that you do the down, or not, I'm sorry, not with the neck, but with the muscle. It's important that you do the downward motion with the muscle because we hold a lot of stress and tension here. So this muscle is stretched out. We tend to clench our teeth more. We tend to do that more at night, and you can actually see what it does to my mouth. It creates that frown, which will then create this drooping that will happen as we age. So you want to go down the muscle, and you can do it pretty firmly. Just keep in mind when you're doing the neck, you can have marks that pop up. It looks like little petechia or little red, purple spots. So that's the Sha. The Sha is the energy or the muscle or the energy or the stagnation or the inflammation that's stuck in the muscle layer that actually comes to the surface. And you can actually see mine is already starting to turn red. Okay. For the rest of your neck, especially for those lines, we want to go in an upward motion. We want to go up and then under the chin, up and under, up and under, up and under. I love to kind of sit and do this if I'm reading a book, if I'm listening to music. Um, Sometimes after my meditation, I really love to do this because it really helps me feel calm and relaxed. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going down, down, down. And then you can see I'm kind of getting all the way up behind the ear. There's a bone here called the mastoid process. So you're going to be just near the mastoid process, and this muscle runs right into the head. That is called the SCM muscle. On your chest, you want to go sideways. Okay, you want to follow the rib cage. You want to make sure on your chest that you are using this side of the tool. Do not use this side of the tool because then you could actually puncture the intercostal space and puncture the lung, and we do not want that to happen. Okay, so you want to do this edge and you're going to go across, and this actually feels really good. Sometimes when I'm at work, when I'm seeing patients, if I feel like stressed or I feel a little too tight, I'll go into my office and I do a little bit of gua sha here, and I really love how it feels. It just makes me kind of feel calm. You can feel your chest, sort of open again. All right, on the face, you're going to take the tool and you're going to use the longer piece under the chin, shorter piece above. And we're going to go here. You're going to start in the center of your chin and you make your way all the way up to the ear, up. So what I'm doing is I'm getting under the neck, under the jaw, but I'm also getting just above it. And I'm helping to decrease that lovely line that we love to get as we age. That is our mentolabial groove. And when we're younger, it doesn't really stand out, but as we age, it can get more prominent. So I'm helping to do away with that. But you can also see I have my little chops here. I definitely have some. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I do. But here you can actually see it'll lift that area. Okay. From here, you're going to take this side of the tool again and go up and go up. Up. Now you can see I'm actually lifting that chop area. I'm lifting into the laugh line. Keep in mind that with gua sha, your face will get red. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. You can give it some pressure. You can do it kind of lightly. I like to give a lot of pressure, more because I know what my skin can and cannot handle, and I think most of us actually know that. You want to get into the line by your nose. Okay. And I'm going to make sure I do the other side. Kind of get up in there, get into my cheek. Okay. When we get to above the lip, there's a couple ways you can go. You can curl your lip under, and you can use this part of the tool. Or you can curl your lip under and use the point of the tool. I really like the point of the tool because I feel like it gets into this area better. It helps soften out the line, but it also helps lift the cheek. From here, I'm going to get into my nose, or actually, I'm going to lift. First thing I'm going to do is kind of lift these lines up. I'm going to go into here. Right? Under my eye, I like to use this point first, which is very gentle. I'm going to start up in here in the canthus, inner canthus of the eye, and go this way. You don't want to be too aggressive. Under the eye can bruise pretty easily, so you just want to be gentle. But this is going to lift those laugh lines. I'm sorry, it's going to lift the crow's feet for you, not laugh lines, crow's feet. And you can see I'm actually getting my nose as well. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm right-handed, so sometimes it's a little harder for me to do my left eye. So just kind of keep that in mind. Sometimes it's a little harder. You can also do the nose. So on the nose, you just kind of want to go sideways and sideways. Okay. All right. On the forehead, there's multiple ways to do this. A lot of times when you get your gua sha tool, there's a tutorial in there that will show you to go this way. There is nothing wrong with going this way at all. The whole idea of this is that it'll smooth out the lines on the forehead. But one of the ways I actually prefer, and the way that I learned gua sha many years, like 15 years ago, gua sha on the face, is to go up. And I really like to do the upward motion because I feel that it lifts the eyebrows. It gives that look of having some Botox. So I like to start in the middle in the middle between the eyebrows and just going up, up. I just really love how this feels on my forehead. I feel like it releases so much tension. And you can see I'm starting just above the eyebrow and I'm going all the way up, lift. And you can actually see the difference already. You can see how my skin gets red. My skin gets pretty red when I do gua sha. Again, I go pretty heavy on my skin, but I know what my skin can take. But also, I'm very fair. So it's going to show up just on my skin just a little more intensely. I also have very sensitive skin. So a lot of times I have to be careful how many times a week I do gua sha, as well as like the products I use on my face. I do gua sha actually I do gua sha. I try to do it every day. I do rotate. Sometimes I do it in the morning. Sometimes I do it at night. It really depends on how my skin is feeling. And if I have any puffiness. Gua sha also helps take away that puffiness, especially in here. So that's what I love about it. Okay. So that's a really great place to start with your gua sha. There's so many other ways to do it. There's definitely other tools. This is just one of my favorite tools. I find that it's just really easy to use. It's really easy to handle. You can clean it. One of the other things you can do with your gua sha tool is put it in the freezer. I have multiples of these. So I have one that I keep in my bedroom. I have one that I keep in the bathroom. I actually carry one in my handbag. I actually have one at work. And then I also keep one in the freezer. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, your eyes just feel kind of heavy. They feel puffy. You get the puffiness in the cheeks. You can do the gua sha and pull it out of the freezer. It just feels really good, and you'll see that swelling or that puffiness in the face reduce drastically. All right. If you have any questions, just let me know.